Adil was an ordinary young man with a passion for books and quiet places. One evening, he visited an old, half-forgotten library at the edge of town. Dust floated in the stale air, and the wooden shelves creaked with age. While searching for a rare history book, he noticed a girl sitting alone in the corner, reading silently under the dim yellow lamp. She was strikingly beautiful, her skin pale as moonlight, her eyes deep and unreadable. Her name was Zareen. Their conversation began with something simple, a question about the book she was holding, but there was a strange pull between them. Zareen spoke softly, her voice carrying a strange calmness that unsettled him yet drew him closer. From that evening onward, Adil found himself returning to the library again and again, hoping to see her. She was always there, waiting, as though she knew he would come. Though he didn't realize it, Adil had stepped into a world beyond reason. To him, Zareen was just a mysterious, enchanting girl. He had no idea that this meeting, in the silent heart of the forgotten library, was the beginning of a love story written in shadows and sealed with horror. Weeks passed, and Adil and Zareen grew inseparable. Every evening they met in the library or in abandoned streets under the pale glow of the moon. Adil, who once believed love was nothing more than a passing feeling, now felt that his entire soul was tied to this strange girl. But there was something odd about her. Zareen never appeared during the day. Whenever Adil asked to meet her under the sun, she would smile faintly and refuse. Her skin seemed too delicate for sunlight, almost as if she feared it. Yet, every night she was vibrant, more alive, her presence filling the empty spaces of his world. Their conversations grew deeper. She spoke of loneliness, of centuries of silence, though Adil thought she was just being poetic. Her touch was cold, but he convinced himself it was only his imagination. He loved her beyond reason, and her mysterious ways only made him crave her more. For Adil, it felt like destiny, two souls drawn together by something larger than life. But what he mistook for destiny was something far darker. Behind her fragile smile lay a secret that was quietly consuming him, pulling him closer to the edge of a world he did not yet understand. Adil began noticing strange occurrences around Zareen. At first, they seemed small, almost dismissible. When she walked, her steps made no sound, and sometimes she left no footprints at all, even on the dust-covered floors of the library. On certain nights, when her emotions rose, a flicker of red would pass through her eyes, glowing faintly in the darkness. The air would grow cold around her, so cold that Adil could see his own breath fogging in front of him, even though it was the middle of summer. Street dogs howled when she passed, and sometimes shadows seemed to move with her, as if following her every step. Despite all this, Adil pushed his doubts aside. He told himself love was about trust, about ignoring flaws. She is different, he thought. But isn't that what makes her special? His heart chose to see beauty where reason screamed danger. Friends noticed his absence. He no longer laughed, no longer spent time with anyone but Zareen. Even his family worried about his late-night disappearances. But Adil didn't care. He was under a spell, blind to the fact that he was already slipping away from the world of the living, deeper into Zareen's realm of shadows. One night, curiosity overcame Adil. He decided to follow Zareen after she left their usual meeting spot. She moved swiftly, almost floating through the dark alleys until she reached the old graveyard at the edge of the town. The moon was high, casting eerie shadows across the cracked tombstones. Adil hid behind a tree, his heart pounding as he watched. Zareen stood in the center of the graveyard, her back to him. Suddenly, her body began to change. Her hair rose as if lifted by an unseen wind, swirling wildly around her face. Her delicate form stretched taller, her fingers grew longer and sharper, and her eyes burned blood red in the night. A chilling wail escaped her lips, a sound not meant for human ears. Adil stumbled backward, horrified, realizing the truth he had ignored all along. Zareen was not human. She was a jinn, a creature from a world of fire and darkness, hiding beneath the illusion of beauty. Before he could run, Zareen turned and saw him. For a moment, her monstrous features softened, her red eyes filled with sorrow instead of rage. "Now you know," she whispered. "Yet my heart still belongs to you." Adil's world shattered. He could no longer look at Zareen the same way, yet his heart refused to let go. His mind screamed at him to run, to escape the curse he had walked into. But when he looked at her tear-streaked face, he saw not a monster, but the girl he had loved from the very first moment. Zareen begged him to stay. She confessed that for centuries she had despised humans, tormenting them for sport. But with Adil it was different. For the first time in her long existence, she had felt love. She did not want to let it go. Her voice trembled as she swore that no harm would come to him. But her presence alone seemed to bend reality, dragging him into her darkness. Adil stood torn between two worlds, the safety of his own humanity or the dangerous pull of her forbidden love. His soul was conflicted, but one truth remained. If he stayed, he would never truly be free again. Still, his heart whispered, maybe love is worth the risk. But he did not realize that loving a creature of shadows would cost him more than he could ever give. After that night, strange things began happening in Adil's life. At home, objects would move on their own. Books flying off shelves, mirrors cracking without reason, and whispers echoing through empty rooms. His sleep became plagued by terrifying dreams in which Zareen's face twisted into monstrous shapes, her laughter echoing through endless darkness. His family grew frightened. They noticed how cold his room felt, as if the warmth of the sun no longer touched it. Once, his mother swore she saw a shadow crouched in the corner of his room, watching him as he slept. Adil confronted Zareen, begging her to stop whatever was happening, but she looked at him with sorrowful eyes. I cannot control what I am, she said. To love me is to walk with the shadows. The weight of her words crushed him. He realized that her love was not a gift. It was a curse binding him tighter every day. Still, whenever she touched his hand, his fear melted away, replaced by an overwhelming longing. Adil knew he had to decide. Could he sacrifice his humanity for her? Or was it time to turn away before the shadows consumed him completely? Weeks passed, and Adil and Zareen grew inseparable. Every evening they met in the library or in abandoned streets under the pale glow of the moon. Adil, who once believed love was nothing more than a passing feeling, now felt that his entire soul was tied to this strange girl. But there was something odd about her. Zareen never appeared during the day. Whenever Adil asked to meet her under the sun, she would smile faintly and refuse. Her skin seemed too delicate for sunlight, almost as if she feared it. Yet, every night she was vibrant, more alive, her presence filling the empty spaces of his world. Their conversations grew deeper. She spoke of loneliness, of centuries of silence, though Adil thought she was just being poetic. Her touch was cold, but he convinced himself it was only his imagination. He loved her beyond reason, and her mysterious ways only made him crave her more. For Adil, it felt like destiny, two souls drawn together by something larger than life. But what he mistook for destiny was something far darker. Behind her fragile smile lay a secret that was quietly consuming him, pulling him closer to the edge of a world he did not yet understand.